everybody, it's Lara. Welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday, April the 24th, I think, 2025. I wanted to record yesterday, but the husband was home. He got called into work like 5 o'clock. By then I was like, yeah, it's not happening. So it's probably going to be like that. Wednesdays feel like a good day to record for me. But sometimes he's home, and that won't happen, so that'll get shoved to Thursdays on those weeks. So, I have better notes this week. By a little bit. Not by a ton. I had actually started recording this, and I got a phone call, and it made me sad. So now I'm all like... but, nothing... like directly involving me, but my family, and it makes me sad. So I just got back from picking my kiddo up from the bus stop. I'm taking my shoes off because my feet are hot already. So I'm gonna do some lifey talky a little bit because that just feels like the right flow. So I'm sorry if you're only here for cross stitch. It's life. I do life. So this past Sunday was Easter, and it was just me and the husband and one of the kids. So I was like, But at the same point in time, it was Easter, and I was like, okay, let me go ahead and make something Easter dinner-ishy. Is that a word? No. So ham was like the staple for my family when I was growing up, and my grandma always did like the pineapple rings with the cloves stuck in it. And it was delicious. I loved it. And I was like, okay, ham's pretty easy. You know, it's basically pre-cooked anymore. You just heat it up and I can put it in the crock pot and forget it. And I was like, oh, let me get fancy and buy some pineapple, fresh pineapple, and cut it up, and we'll make rings, and it'll cook with the ham, and it'll be delicious. And I did like green beans and roasted potatoes and some rolls. You know, nothing crazy fancy, but, you know, nice dinner. So I tucked all the pineapple slices in between all the, because it was like a spiral sliced ham, in between all the slices, put the cloves in, put it in the crock pot, set it for, 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. Thought it'll be great. My husband had to work from like 6 in the morning until he got off at like 4, because they had an event at work. And he got home and everything was like coming together. The potatoes were out of the oven, the green beans were being sauteed. They looked delicious. They smelled delicious. And he went to pull the ham out of the crock pot. It's like falling off the bone, and it looked delicious. And I was so ready. It smelled delicious. And then we go to eat. And it was like someone had pre-chewed my food, specifically the ham. And I was like, what's happening here? This is very disgusting. And I was like, what is that? I was like, okay, maybe like that was really close to a fat cap or something. And the fat's like, melted over it and kind of gave it a weird texture. So I dug a little deeper for one of the bigger slices. And I put it in my mouth, and I was like, oh, no, this is still, what is wrong with this meat? And I'm like, is your ham weird? And he was like, I don't know, I haven't tried it yet. I was like, try it. What? He's like, something's not quite right. He was like, it's protein, so I'll eat it. And I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't know what happened. And I was like, it only cooked for like 4 hours. And that's what it said to do for like 10 pounds of ham, was stick it in the crock pot on low for 4 hours. That's what I did. So I Googled. And apparently fresh pineapple has an enzyme that breaks down meat when it cooks, specifically. Canned pineapple, that enzyme is inactivated because canned pineapple is cooked pineapple. But if you put fresh pineapple in and cook it with the meat, yeah, it does a lot of your work for you, because it is like a weird cross between Play-Doh and peanut butter. I have never thrown out a chunk of meat so willingly. We had 10 pounds of ham go into the creek for the fishes because it was just so bad. Oh, it was so bad. And the kiddo, he was so nice. He was like, yeah, I'm sorry, Mama. It's not very good. I don't think I want to eat it. That's okay, buddy. I'm not going to eat it either. It's okay. So we had a vegetarian-ish Easter dinner. Learn from my mistakes, folks. Don't use fresh pineapple when you're cooking your meat. Get it canned. PSA for the week. My mother got into a car accident. She's okay-ish. She's very, very, very bruised. There was nobody else involved in the accident, thankfully, but she passed out at the wheel, y'all. Apparently her electrolytes were like way low, and yeah, she lost consciousness. It's just very scary. She's got all sorts of problems with her blood pressure and heart and stuff, so they're trying to figure out why her electrolytes are being stupid. I'm just glad she's okay. Let's see. I do have some acquisitions to show you, which I think I will actually do that first so that I don't forget at the end. The Cross Stitch Studio is having a sale until April 30th, so it is still going on if you are watching this in relative real time. And I asked my husband, said they only have sales like twice a year, so I'm trying to get the fingerprints off the... They only have sales like twice a year. Can I please get one? He was like, yes, you can get a couple. Okay. And I've had my eye on quite a few of hers. My wish list is not super large, but big enough on their site. And she had put out, Betsy had put out the roses, if anybody is familiar with, her relative recent releases. And of course the libraries came out a while ago. So I got Dumbledore's Library, which is way huger. English is not my forte today, guys. Way bigger than I thought it was. So it's 800 by 800. It has 119 colors. I don't know how many stitches of 939 is that. It's a lot of 939. Not quite as many as my Dragons of the Sabbat. It's actually almost 100,000 less. It's got 189,845 of 939. Here, I'll show you. It's actually, I don't think it's quite as bad as Jen's Snape's Library. I do have a small cone of 939, but it's not DMC. And I don't know, I think I might have to get another one just because I think the other one is I'm going to need all of it for Birth of a Star, which I'm not really looking forward to because it's gone up in price because of the tariffs. Won't go too far into that. And I also got Iridescent Crystal Rose. Oh, who does Dumbledore's Library? Who's the author? Artist. Accidentally closed Pattern Keeper. Hold on. Scroll. Who's that artist? Who's the artist? Serenity Studio. Oh, artwork by Unique Art Factory. All right. Iridescent Crystal Rose. This is my favorite one out of all the roses that she put out. This one's 475 by 455, 109 colors. Ooh. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. No plans to start these anytime soon. Because, just because. I think I might put it on my start wheel, at least the rose. Maybe not Dumbledore's Library yet, but the rose I think is going to go on the start wheel. This one is by Nicole Jerrier. I don't know how to say it. Nicole Jerrier. Oh, Serenity Studio is the Cross Stitch Studio. Okay. Anywho, so I'm excited for those. And then I did finally get my order in for my Gecko Rouge kits with my voucher. I cannot sing Gecko Rouge's customer service high enough, like praise it high enough, sing it loudly enough. Glenn over there, he is amazing to work with. And I don't know, does anybody have this experience where there's just like one aspect of your life, like there's an interaction with a certain person or certain group of whatever that never goes right. Like nothing you do or say is quite right, and you just feel like you end up looking like an idiot to this person or these people. For whatever reason, anything and everything that I could misunderstand or not find or do wrong, it is with Gecko Rouge. And he has always been nothing but patient and kind. And when I've emailed with my questions or my whatever problem I'm having with whatever part of the website doesn't work for me, it's not their website, it's totally me. And yeah, very, very, it sucks so bad that it's going to cost so much more to get stuff imported from there. So, but totally worth it. So that will be, I don't know, a couple months probably before I get those in. And then that's it. That's it. That's my notes for talking about whatever. I think we will get right into 10 minutes later, 11 minutes later, right into stitching. I will go ahead and go to what I stitched on this week. I did not make it to my round robin, I will tell you that now. I'm gonna have to figure something out because it's all back stitching that's left, and there's a lot of it, and I have like a week or so before it needs to head out, so I might just have to bite the bullet and like do a thread at night, and just, if I'm sick of it after that, go ahead and put it down. All right, I will see you after Monopoly again. So up first we have January flowers. This is the birth month flower sampler from Luthien Art Shop on Etsy. I do have all 12 months, and I'm stitching them all on one piece of fabric, but they're not charted together. And I think I really want to add some back stitching of some sort on the bottom, like along. That's not going to work. I need 3 hands somewhere along the bottom edge here of what flowers these are, because it does not include that in these. Maybe do like the scientific name in the left corner and like the common name in the right corner. Yep, that could be nice. So this, and I did it again. I completely forgot to take a before clip before I started working. But my husband was also like getting ready to settle in and watch a show, and just, yeah, slipped my mind. That's okay. He doesn't mind waiting for me, but I just let him do his thing. I only have, well, here, I'll show you where we're starting from anyways. So here in the sort of before picture, I grabbed a screenshot from my last video that I stopped this on, and I'm stitching this on 32 count even weave, yeah, 1/1 full cross, and I am now, let's see, pull that down, and here I was able to get 338 stitches in out of the 140 that were required for rent for the Monopoly piece. I was at like 115 when the first thread ran out, and I just went ahead and finished off that second thread, and that got me to the 338. I did not fill in any of the black like I was planning on, but I'm kind of feeling just keeping working these outlines and then going back and filling in. It's a little easier to go back and fill in the black when it's already there. I mean, that's what I was doing anyways, but I never, since I don't really know how far I can get with the black before it runs out, I'll just keep plugging away at the frame. And I am now at, sorry for the sniffles, yeah, now at 1,710 stitches out of 25,921. This really doesn't have a ton of stitching, so I'm at 6.60%. There, I mean, yeah, what was I going to say? I don't know.
what was I going to say? I don't know. I think I was just thinking about how few, quote unquote, few stitches there are in this. But obviously, you know, with 12 of them, it's still going to take a very long time to do. So, yeah, I'm really pleased with where that ended up. And I only have, not including this one, I have 3 more to go before I start down the edge of the pattern. So, and if I get tired of the frame, now that I've gotten, you know, kind of benchmark, I can come down and start like doing the lettering, but that is still quite a bit of that same color. 37 something that I'm using here. I hope I have enough. Well, I think what I'll end up doing is I'm gonna have to finish the frame out, because there are just over 8,000 stitches left, and that's what, I don't know how well the die-lat matches from the thread that I have, so this frame could look a little interesting. But that is the story of my stitching life. Okay, well, I think enough babbling about this particular piece. I'm headed off to bed, and I have work to do tomorrow. I did get a bit done today, which was very good, but I have quite a bit more that I need to keep track on, so we'll see where I can get to in my next piece, and hopefully I'll actually remember to record my opening clip. Okay. Okay, I'll fix that little conundrum by just filming before I go to bed for the opening segment of this one. So this is African Daisy. It is a royalty-free image, I believe. Total cross stitch is the chart designer. I was trying to see if I can find no, there's no reference to the original. Anywho, so I do, if you saw my last video, I do have part of the middle started, like just above, just where the flower petals meet the middle. I don't remember what that's called. The middle of the flower. And I moved up to this upper left-hand corner. So I am stitching this on a tea-colored Monaco 28 count 1/1 full cross. And this is the corner that I'm starting from, and it's slated to get 250 stitches. So it's probably not going to look much different than this, because I think, let me look at this real quick. Sorry, I can't hold yeah, this is basically all one color in here. And there's obviously many more than, this is 100 stitches right here. So we're probably looking, just filling in probably close to down here before I hit that 250. Then I'll finish off whatever thread I have. So I have 2,806 stitches in this so far, out of 166,500 for 1.69%. So we'll see how much further than the 250 string will take me, and go from there. This one will probably, I can't really say for sure, but it is a corner piece, so probably see it come out more often than some of the other ones will, but it will be good to get some more work in this. I'm loving the yellows. And here we are, 316 stitches later, so that's pretty close. Got down to almost filling this line in, and then that's pretty straightforward on that one. So we are now at 3,122 stitches and 1.88%. Not a whole lot to say about this one. It was one color, simple stitching. I did have Danielle, the Cardiff Stitcher, here on YouTube, ask me about my Stitch With Me setup. So I'm going to show you my clutter, so pardon that. So I just have one of these gooseneck phone clamps, and I just have it attached to the base of my lamp here, simply because this is just, there's not quite enough lip to really give it a good grip on this table. So I just attach it to this, and I pull this down right about here in front of me, and just angle it so that it's down on the stitching, but still kind of to my right so that it stays out of my face. Otherwise, I can't see what I'm doing. And then, yeah, I just clip the phone in and hit record, and that's about as simple as I can make it for myself. I know there's way fancier setups, but it works for me and what I do with it. So that's it. That's all. I got my clamp on Amazon a few years ago now. But if you search for just basically any, and my setup won't work for everybody, but hopefully that gives you an idea there, Danielle. All right. Gotta go get my son off the bus and then get some work done, and I may or may not be able to stitch more tonight. We'll see. So, all right, see you in a bit. And up next we have a Gecko Rouge kit by Lorna Lane called B. I love this. I love her artwork. I really need to get on the computer and finish using my voucher. Let's see. This only has 605 stitches in it. I'm stitching this 1/1 on 28 count Easy Guide, Easy Grid from them. And that's it. That's all I have. It's 605 stitches out of 65,116. So it's really not a huge piece. It's at 0.93%. And it looks like there are a few stitches left in here, a couple stitches left here, just kind of here. And then this is actually the outline of the one of the flowers. So got to finish these little bubbles off, but it's only going to get 150 plus whatever stitches. So there's not going to be a ton to see, but with it having not that much in there to begin with, you might actually be able to see the difference. So I will see you back here in 150 plus stitches. I was trying to see how far the thread would probably stretch, but the confetti is very real in Gecko Rouge kits from my experience with them so far. So it could be close to 150 simply by because I'll be stopping every 10 stitches. So, all right, I will see you in a minute. Yeah, I'm super excited. I got a whole 252 stitches in this piece that was only supposed to really get 150. Sorry, I was looking at my board. I couldn't remember if it was 140 or 150. 150 because, yeah, I got to 147, and it was a ton of color changes. This is just a ton of different reds and pinks in the edge. And I got to the 147, and then I had this little blob. I was very excited. So I got to put the whole thread in for that orange. And we are now at a whopping 857 stitches total out of the 65,000, and at 1.32% now. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. And I did turn on the diagonals for this so that I have a little bit more kind of direction as far as filling that in, because these are done now completely, but this is one that's not done. And I don't want to get kind of caught up in this petal and then not come in and do, I mean, not that I would, but I don't know. It just gives me less decision making when it comes to picking what color to do next when I've got those diagonals on. I still stitch pretty much cross country, and like I won't start right at the diagonal a lot of times. Like, when I came up here and started this, like the very first color in here, I actually started stitching down and came up and around instead of starting here and filling it in. So, I just kind of do whatever works for me, which actually kind of brings me to my next piece. My last piece for not Monopoly is that new start from Heaven and Earth Designs, Angel, however you say it, Jehoel. And I actually had a viewer submit a comment, a really well thought out and pointed comment, not a comment, questions. She was asking quite a few questions about, starting a full coverage because she's never done one before and got her first one. So I think I'm going to use that as an example. That'll be a separate video for just kind of how I do like approach full coverage pieces. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out for it. But I was actually really, because I have no problem doing like, how I do stuff, but I do better with like guided questions, if you will. Otherwise I tend to ramble and maybe give more information than is necessary. So I think that does it for this piece for now. As far as, I don't think there was anything else I really wanted to talk about with it. I'm still not sold on easy count. I have to think way too hard about where to stop in those boxes when I'm actually counting off the grid. So anywho, gonna get some sleep, and I will see you guys on the flip side in the blink of an eye for you. Okay, here we have Dragons of the Sabbat by Ann Stokes, charted by Pain Free Crafts. And for those of you who may be new, I do have all of the outside black done. I have all of the inside where the sigils are done, and I'm working on filling out the black around the dragons. My plan is to do all of the black, excuse me, before I move on, and then I will be doing the sigil frame before I do the dragons. So I have currently, actually, let me do something here. We'll show you. Get out of the way. So there, the pink is what I do not have done. So I'm just going to finish filling in that little spot up there, and then we'll move down to this dragon. I currently have 205,175 stitches, all in 310 complete, out of 603,998 for 33.97%. I'm hoping to hit that 34% this week. So there's that little blob that's left to do. I don't know, looks maybe about 400 stitches probably. And then I will move the hoop, and I'll come back. Those will be kind of like a 3-clip series. Yeah, maybe 4, I guess, because I'll come back and show you that before I move the hoop. I don't know why. It's not like it's going to be hard to visualize. So that's okay. I'm going to have fun with it. So yeah. Okay, got that section done. I was way off on the stitch count on that. That was only 272 stitches. So I did hit 34.01% with the finish of that section though. So that's pretty exciting. So I will move the hoop, show you the blank spot, and then, yeah, I'm going to stitch for a little bit longer tonight, and then I will probably put one more day in this week, just because this really didn't feel like an actual stitchy session. I have not been able to stitch today, and I did not like it. So, yeah. Okay, got the hoop moved. This is the section that I just finished, so just brought it down enough to get that next one in. This is not going to fit the whole next dragon, but I should be able to at least get down into that curve. So I will start up here and see where I get to. I did have to regrid some of the faded pink there, so, and it was already in the hoop, so some of it's not very pretty, but that's okay. So, all right, let's see where we get to, and well, no, I'm not even going to say what I hope for. It's going to be what it be. Okay, so here we are. I've actually spent like 3 days stitching on this. I didn't have it in me to switch. It's been just one of those weeks, brain-wise. It is very late at night. I'm ready to go to bed, but I wanted to film this before I put it off and then ended up working on it again and then berating myself because I've got other things I want to stitch on. So obviously this is one section that's getting filled in. I've stitched a total of 1,502 stitches between this section and this section. So, and it's actually easier to stop with a thread at I think I said this already, at the edge of the the blocks and just fill it in on Pattern Keeper that way. So I will pick up that string when it comes through. I did actually have Jody asked about the image of this piece specifically. I'll go ahead and just chuck the picture up in here. So Dragons of the Sabbat. She was curious if it was from like a comic book or a movie or what exactly, where it originated from. And this is actually a piece inspired by the pagan calendar of the Sabbat. And it's a very seasonal set of holidays. This is basically a calendar of sorts, a seasonal calendar that the pagans, druids would follow. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but it's something that I've had an interest in just casually for years. And so, and kind of what my long-term plan while I'm working on this is once all the 310 is done and the sigils are stitched in and I start working on the dragons, my goal is to work on the dragon during its season. So it will be sort of a rotational around the piece, whether or not I get the dragon done during its season, which I doubt. That's kind of my game plan as far as approaching this and working on it. And I also thought, and this is like, we're talking probably at least 2 years before this is something that comes to fruition. But once I actually get to that point, I thought it would be fun to maybe even talk about like the history of each of the holidays and sort of what it represented and things like that. And kind of go into that more of a factual, non-experty sort of thing. I plan on doing some more learning about it between now and then, but yeah, so that's the long and the short of it. It's a representation, her interpretation of a calendar of pagan holidays, rituals, calendar, however you want to interpret it. So I hope that helps to answer that question. And I think I'm going to, if I have time tomorrow, which I'm sure I will make time, to start on my last Monopoly piece tomorrow. And I think that video is going to morph into something a little different than what I was kind of planning a little bit. So, because it's starting to turn into putting it off because I don't exactly know how I want to put that together. So we're just going to start it. And the video that I'm still planning on doing for sort of how I approach full coverages may not branch off of that one directly, but that's okay. So yeah, I think that is enough babbling for this clip, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, so after 3 days of stalling, I finally started this piece. This is Angel Jehuel. Right there. Artwork by Babette Vandenberg. I don't know why her name is so hard for me to say. She's pretty big. She's 450 by 636, 83, 6 colors. And my 3 days of stalling was all in 310. And you look at this picture and you're like, oh, that's nice and light. Guess what I started off with? 310. I was like, really? So this up here is a bit on the darker side, which is fine. Oops. So she was supposed to get a minimum of 360 to start. And as per usual, I did not bother showing you a blank piece of fabric. I even got super lazy when gridding. I only did like, I don't think that might not, yeah, that's not even a third. But that's where we got. It was 516 stitches total. And that is out of 286,200 for 0.18%. And I started it off kind of in a hybrid of diagonal and cross country just so that I could get this, which is 823 in. Otherwise it would have been all 310. So I did, I'm doing 20 wide diagonals, and so I got this one done, and there was like 3 spaces not done in this diagonal, which allowed me to come over here and do the 823. But I just did that as a cross country because excuse me, I'm on my last day of antibiotic and I'm still coughing. I might have to call the doctor today and be like, it's not working all the way. Anyway, because this blob just kind of comes down here. So the diagonal's nice because it gives me sort of a stopping point when if there's like a block of stitching and I don't want to go all the way across and back and forth, it gives me a nice sort of, this is where I'm stopping with this particular color. And then I just, rather than stop at the diagonal, I just finish my thread off. So yeah, so that's where we're at so far with that one. I don't know if there's anything else I really want to say. Oh, this is on 28 count even weave, and I'm doing this 1 over 1 full cross. Yeah, okay, I think that is actually now where I will stop yapping about it. So, all right, on to the next. All right, next here is Celtic Autumn by Lavender and Lace, designed by Marilyn Levitt Bloom Levitt. I can't remember which way it is. I don't have it in front of me. You see a picture of a finished piece by another stitcher, and this is just to show the colorway. The leaves and stuff that are in her hand are different, but yeah, I did a color conversion, so here's where we're starting from. And I do have all the beading and everything done. This was a conversion-ish off of the Facebook group that I'm in that has a lot of those conversions listed. And yeah, I think I will be continuing along here. We'll see how far I get. This is being stitched on a Sunny Dyes fabric, I think. I didn't grab my bag, I should have. I don't remember the colorway. It doesn't matter, they're not in business anymore, unfortunately. And this is a 28 count. I'm doing this 2 over 2. Full cross, of course. And there's a lot of beading, a lot more beading than I thought there would be in this piece. Like, this is really heavily beaded up here. There's one here. I don't know if that's... yeah, anyway. I had to zoom out a little bit for getting this in here, so yeah, we will see how this looks when I am done for the day. Okay, 344 stitches later, plus some back stitch. I did not count how many was in this line of back stitching right here. Here's my invisible thread for beading. I completely finished this one and this one now, and move down into these guys. So I think once this one is done, I will probably scroll her up. So next time, well, I'll probably work on, like, the next session will be like finish this will be the goal, and then start, and then like not necessarily finish this one off, but we'll see how far I get down here, and then it'll be ready to scroll up for the next time. So lots of the focus is not fantastic. It probably doesn't help that I'm, there we go, there we go. But a lot of beading, not terrible, but it was slow going. And some of these dogs are going crazy. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with, yeah, I brought the border down here. Pretty happy with where she's at. So I got a kiddo to get to bed, and then we'll probably work on the last project of the week. I wanted to record today, but my husband had most of the day off, and then he got called in at like 5 o'clock to help out for the dinner thing. And man, I did not sleep well last night, so yeah, c'est la vie. Now we'll get recording done tomorrow, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, and last on the docket, I think before recording tomorrow, hopefully, cross my fingers, is Alchemical Angel 2. This is a piece by Jasmine Beckett Griffith from her public domain pieces that I charted. And just gonna hopefully see how this works out. I am stitching it on 32 count even weave, 1/1 full cross. There we go, and I have so far 1,721 stitches out of 98,000 for 1.76%. I'm just gonna keep filling it in and see how we look. Hopefully it looks less weird the more I get filled out. So yeah, not huge plans on it, but we'll see. It's kind of dark. Hang on. I forgot to scoot it over after I had the scroll frame in it. There we go. That's a little better. So I don't know. I probably won't get to start her lips, but that's my... Once I get the nose and the cheeks filled in, that's hopefully where I'll get to. So, all right. And just like that, we are at 583 stitches and a total of 2,301 now for 2.35%. And I totally did not even realize that like the shadow of her nose was in until I started the video. So that's kind of cool that that's there. I have like all but 5 stitches in her nose done, and that's because the colors carry quite a bit outside of this sort of section that I'm working on. So I'll probably come back and work on this cheek, and the lips will continue as they do. So as far as the shading goes, I'm really happy with how that's turning out. So I think it's really just a matter of finding out if this lighting with her skin is going to work. There is still a bit here that's left to get in. I actually do still have some stitches inside here to finish. So slowly but surely she is getting filled in. All right, let's see. I'm hopefully going to be stitching tomorrow, so this will be my summary of the week. So I got a lot of stitches in on dragons. Like I said earlier, just I don't know, I got stuck in a little rut there. Not a ton of stitches for the week, but that's okay. It's funny, I had not trouble, but you know, dragons was all black for 3 days, and then I did a lot of 310 on this new start, and then next week when these rotate up, the one to rule them all is going to be all 310 as well. So we'll do dragons and then straight into one to rule them all, and that's okay. I did not finish my round robin this week. I did not feel like backstitching, so that will be this coming week, possibly the week after that. I don't know. We'll see how much I really want to put it off. So oops, sorry about my finger there. All right, so we will move right into our Monopoly round and see what we're going to be doing this coming week. Welcome to round 8.4 of Monopoly. So I would really like to get both Magic and Chaos in today, just so that we have a nice end of the round and can start fresh next week with round 9. So we'll just jump right into it. Right now we're doing Magic.
Okay, no doubles. That's kind of good. Investment up, which I don't believe Magic has. No. Where's the only one with an investment? And so that's out. This is a bonus move. I don't remember what that one is. Not a darn thing until somebody has stocks. Okay, so all we have to worry about is moving and the bonus move. So we've got 12 total. So even we're going to head up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, you know what? No, too late. I don't really have any movement cards. Okay, sorry, thinking out loud. Okay, so Pennsylvania Avenue is not owned, so that is going to be 320 stitches. And the bonus move is move to the next unowned property, which is Park Place. And I'm going to go ahead and do that for 350 stitches. All right, and that is the end of Magic's move. So I'm comfortable going ahead with Chaos here. So we are... And that's a lot of dice. Yeah. Oop, I've got this one just kind of snuck off on its own. All right, no doubles again. That means nothing at this point. We've got mystery. Yeah, it's going to be, we're going to end up rolling this big guy. So first we are going to be moving 13 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. How many did I roll last time? Hang on. Never mind, I know that it was advanced to the next property, so this didn't actually have any bearing on the move. That threw me for a second. Okay, let's try that again. What did I say, 13? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, oop, 10. Son of a gun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ooh, all right. Oops, sorry, I'm going to bonk you. I'm going to rotate. All right. Stitch 200 as you pass. I have landed, so actually I'm going to look up and see if there's anything particular about landing on go. Okay, nothing extra happens as far as like bumping the stitch count for go, but I do collect a Public Works card. And I took the time to actually mark all of the properties so far that are owned to notate that now that I have a Public Works card, I can actually build the building, which I'm gonna have to make more of these. So basically what that means is, so this card says, if you land on a property of this color group, whichever I build this on, stitch 100. You may then advance to any non-subway space, adding an extra 100 for every pay corner passed or landed on. Also stitch and add 50 to the pool for every corner space passed. That's a lot of movement. So Chaos actually does not own any properties that have a Public Works that I can build Public Works on. So this is just going to hang out in his inventory to worry about at a future date. And I will stitch the 200 for go. Now I have more to do. I've got this guy and this guy. So we're going to finalize the movement with the bus token. I think I'm going to go ahead and draw a travel voucher because he only has one. Ah, okay.
All travel vouchers expire immediately, except this one. Move forward to any space on this side of the board. Keep until needed or expired. So this is the only valid one. I'm actually I'll do that off camera, obviously, but I have to collect all of the vouchers, and they will go into this discard. I'll get another colored card and make a discard under here. And then we'll probably save this because there are no property over here that I think I really care for. So that's okay. That's interesting. I really, whoops, not whoops, but you know, crap happens. All right, so to give you an idea, that's how many vouchers I had not used. So I think lesson learned that pretty much I'll play them as I get them, just so that they don't sit and fester. So, all right, last but not least is to roll the mystery die. Oh, and actually write down the 200 stitches for go. Oh, wild card. I need to double check, but I think I can pick any of a certain number of cards stacks, like, to pull from. Okay, yeah, it's pretty much a crapshoot of what you want to pull from, minus a couple. So we'll just do, what is this one? Shenanigans. Why not? Feeling squirrely. Play the lottery. Advance to lotto, roll the dice. I gotta find lotto. And then I gotta roll. Be right back. Okay, so we've actually gone over to the second board for the lotto square. So it's roll 4 dice as you pass, and then based on kind of poker, no pairs, pair, 3 of a kind, 2 pairs, straight, 4 of a kind. Now I have this extra one, so this is a 6. All right, I have 1 pair, and that's it. So 250 on choice to the jackpot. So I get to pick a whip, stitch 250 on it, and then I'll note it in my spreadsheet about this goes to the jackpot for the lotto. And then, so for the jackpot, if you get 4 of a kind, it's stitch all of the jackpot stitches. So that could get really interesting depending on how many times that gets landed on before, I mean, 4 of a kind, you have to roll. That's that. Here, finish a whip. So, yeah, I have to noodle on what I want to stitch on for that one. So that gives us 4, and that finishes off the turn for chaos as well. So that concludes round 8. And I feel like I'm getting a little bit more into the flow as far as like what to look out for to play for next. So it also helps that I have marked some things, and I actually had missed a couple of squares for public works, but anyways. All right, so I will finish pulling things and marking things, and then we will see what we'll be stitching on next week.
All right, there we have it. Finally, round 8 is over. We'll start again in jail. I'm actually weirdly excited for the jail, whatever that happens in jail, come next week. So I've got all the stuff that I will be working on pulled for this week. So we will start with Pennsylvania Avenue. It was Twisted Rainbow Sampler, which I thought was kind of funny since I just put it away, like took it out of the running for my focus pieces. Apparently it wanted to be worked on. So let me see if I do have my cover sheet for it. This is a piece by Northern Expressions Needlework. This is the cross stitch version. There is a specialty stitch version. I have the twisted band sampler, I think is what the other one, the companion piece, is called. That one's in specialty stitches. And here is where I'm starting off from. Actually started in the upper right hand corner because, you know, that's how the thingies go, bands. So that's where we're starting from. It's only supposed to get 320 stitches on it, so we'll see how the band looks, but I'll be excited to get some work on it. I'm using, I will tell you that when I start on it. Get that out of the way. And then the one new start that I have is from 2x2 Stitch Art on Etsy called Unicorn Silhouette. I don't know, yeah, I gotta do the mock-up for this one. It's a pretty simple piece. Very pretty. I'm looking forward to it. I picked out a colored fabric to go. I think that'll look really nice on that. So that will get at least 100, or not 150, at least 350 for that one. So that'll look nice, I think. And then we will be working on Mini Divine Transformation. That one is going to get at least 200. I'm really looking forward to this one. I really like this piece. Oh, it doesn't have very much at all. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, that's it. And I think it's gonna be like that every time I pull it out because it's the, what is that, the go? Yeah, it's the go piece. So it only gets 200 every time I pull it. So, but hopefully tokens will jump over it enough that I will get some good progress. It's really hard to see. That's actually a purple. There we go. Some purples in there. He's not big at all. It's very small. And then for the last Monopoly piece, I realized after I was like, oh, it's a piece of my choice. No, it's not. I made a lotto piece because I knew I would never be able to like narrow down my 5,000 projects. I would need to be told, do this project on this square, which is exactly what I did. And that is Songs Under the Cherry Tree. There. And I started on her face, which looks very weird. And she's going to get at least 250. I should probably grid this at some point. But this is also the mini of this piece, which I think it's actually turning out, sorry for the wrinkles. I think it's turning out really well for being a mini so far. I mean, obviously there's not exactly much detail in it, so we'll just keep plugging away at that. I've got a couple now where it's just lips. All right, and then of course we will be working more on Dragons of the Sabbat. Starting from here, I will hope to get at least this filled in. We'll see. I don't necessarily have a goal with it, but I'm estimating that I might be able to get that filled in. So that's kind of a look forward to that thing. And then I did not get to work on this obviously last week, but one to rule them all will be the next focus that does get worked on for sure. Here. Use this one. And I've just had 310, so it'll be 310 in dragons and then 310 in this one. So I'll just continue filling that in. I think, I don't remember for sure if it's a whole page of 310 to start with. No, not even, it doesn't even go down the whole page, so I doubt I will get to the bottom of the 310 this time, but I might. We don't know yet. Another one that I did not get to work on that I'm really hoping to touch is Boudreaux. Let's see if I can remember where he is really quickly. There. And I'm just working on getting these threads worked in. Whew. That's going to take a while. So we'll see where, it'll probably just be more filled in here. But I'm looking forward to getting some progress on that one. And then, oh crap, I forgot to grab it. It's way over there. This one, my Pegasus. I just have like this section left in the piece to finish filling out. I'm not going to worry about grabbing it. You'll see it next week. You'll see it next week. And then I'm hoping I don't know what, there's a decent amount of Monopoly stitches as far as like how much there is, but I'm really kind of hoping to get to this one, which is Face of a Mermaid. Oh, she's right there. Excuse me. She was a focus piece for a while, and then, crap happens. So, so pretty. I mean, she's not a big piece. This is basically a mini size. But the detail is phenomenal. It's just confetti everywhere. I don't know what I'll end up doing with this since I have her in a big enough hoop. No, that edge is kind of dicey. I will probably continue working up here. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the stuff coming up, guys. This is good. So, I think really that kind of sums up everything that I wanted to talk about. I don't have anything else. I still want to get a Stitch With Me done at some point now that I'm feeling a little better and not having that nasal crap going on. I think now it's either remnants of sinus infection or allergies, which it could be a little bit of both, to be honest. I forgot to open my windows. So with that being said, I will bid you all farewell. Thank you so much for joining me if you made it this far and coming along on this journey of mine. I hope you got a lot of stitching in. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.